To the Paladin Excellence in Coaching webinar series. My name is Charles Owen. My role here is business alliances and managing the partner relationships. I've been here about 7 years. And the topic today is automating sales promotions and trade discounts. So webinar will cover automated sales, promotions, discounting, how we can hopefully we'll learn how we can reduce human error, increase the front-end efficiencies, and make your customers a lot happier with consistent sales and pricing. So hopefully we are being recorded right now. Everybody is in mute mode at the moment, so I can deliver the presentation. The goal of this webinar series is to really make you better, more informed customers and users of the Paladin system, so you'll be more successful and enable you to implement more features and use the system to your biggest, to your most advantage. All right, so how the webinar works today is Chad Klein is assisting me. He is going to be reviewing any of the text messages that come in, so you are able to send a message via the chat screen, and if you have any questions, feel free to submit them that way, and Chad will answer your questions. All right, at the end of the presentation, there'll be a quick survey. It's only 3 or 4 questions long, 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, so if you can grade those questions, that would be super good. We'd appreciate that. We always appreciate the feedback. So if you missed the presentation, it will be available on paladinpointofsale.com as it shows on the screen. And before I continue, I actually need to ask the folks that are on the line if they can click on the screen where it says raise your hand, and just to make sure that you can hear me and see my screen. So I see a couple went up, and I appreciate it. So you're listening just fine and hopefully viewing my screen. So let's move into the slide 1. So slide 1 is basically our agenda. We're going to look at the promotion types and the discount types. We'll actually go through the process in setting up a sale, and then also I will bring up, shortly after that, we'll bring up the Paladin point of sale system. I'll show you how it's actually done in the back office system. All right, there's a lot of folks that I ask them, are you using the Paladin sales? And they say yes. And I ask them, well, how do you actually implement the sales? And they say, well, we change the price in the inventory. Wrong answer. That is not the way to do it, definitely. You want to automate this process. You don't want to have to go in and change items in your inventory. You definitely don't want to change the prices in your inventory for sales. Now, obviously, you want to keep up with costs and retail prices, and you can do that either through electronic data interchange, with your supplier, or you can go in and make those manual adjustments, or from time to time, just upload from an Excel spreadsheet new prices. But sales, promotions, these types of things you'll want to automate, and you can apply these sales either across the board to all customers or individual customers, employees, different trades out there, and you can customize those pricing plans and discounts. So that's what we're going to talk about today. That is our agenda. The next screen here is talking about our promotion types. So the different types of promotions you have are random items. So you can identify certain items in your inventory that you want to sell at a discount. These don't fall in any particular class necessarily, or the same class. These are just items on a list that you want to add as discounts or sale items. So you might have, half a dozen items you want to sell today at a sale price. You can enter these items and hard code the sale amount, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about unique or random item discounts. All right, the next promotion type is really a blanket sale. A blanket sale is covering a whole spectrum of products, like an entire department or an entire class, or a supplier. A particular supplier might be offering some kind of incentive. So you want to extend a discount to your customers so they can participate in that incentive. The next is actually targeting certain customers, like business-to-business, B2B customers. You can add trade discounts in the system, and you can customize those trade discounts for individual companies, customers, any classification that you want. In some cases, you might have a painter, and you might give that painter your specific pricing for just that trade. And you might want to do the same for contractors or framers or whatever it might be. Next is customer loyalty discounts. So you can identify customers that are participating in the loyalty program, and this does actually require you to run the Rich Rewards program. However, we do have other loyalty discounts that are provided with ACE and other brands as well. Next, we have auto-activated promotions. So another promotion type is identifying a start date and an end date. The advantage of this is you can set sales up way in advance of the sale. So in October, you can be planning, or in July, you can be planning your Christmas sales. And you can enter all those into the systems with start dates and stop dates with particular % off, and then you can even tier those prices, increasing the discount automatically. So you just set that up all in advance, and then magically on that day, the sales start working. When that sale is over, the other one automatically takes over. So it's a really cool way to set up your promotions by date range. The next is we have some BOGO and BOGA, buy one, get one, buy one, get any sales promotions that are in the system. Today it is restricted to certain brands. We have it, for example, restricted to Days, Instant Savings, and so on. But because we built it for ACE, we built all the guts to the system, so we've got it in there. We're just building the UI, or the user interface, today, and eventually, in the not too distant future, that feature will be available to everybody. So you'll be able to set up BOGO sales and BOGA sales, and same with Instant Savings. It's very unique to the ACE world, but because we developed and designed that for one brand, we wanted all of our customers to participate in that. So let's move on to the next screen. So discount types. Different discount types we have fixed sale price types. So that means you can put an item in and you can fix the sale price. Just say, it's normally $10.99. We're going to sell it for $7.99, between these particular date ranges, or for this weekend, or whatever it might be. The next is quantity discount breaks. Now, this is one that falls outside of sales and promotions. It's actually set up in the inventory. Most of you, I'm sure, know what that is, the different pricing levels in the inventory, where you can say, well, if you buy one, it's $1. If you buy 3 or more, it's 75 cents. And if you buy 10 or more, we'll drop it down to 50 cents. So those are called quantity discount breaks, kind of outside sales and promotions, but it's related. Next type of discount we have is retail with a discount percentage. So you can have a retail price and then just add a percentage to it. This is great for large quantity of departments or classes or supplier sales that you're putting on. You can have a retail price and you can just drop a discount in, and you can actually continue to change that discount and build pricing plans, as I mentioned on the previous screen, where you can just have a tiered kind of approach. As it gets closer to Christmas, for example, the sales get steeper and steeper. All right. Then you can also have cost with a markup. So this is great for trade discounts for your painters and framers and different plumbers and other trades like that, where you can actually negotiate your cost with a markup for those guys on the items of their trade, but all other items you can have at retail with a discount. So you might say, you know, I'll give you a 15% over our cost on all plumbing supplies, but at the rest of the retail store and items, you'll get a discount of 5% off retail. All right, next we have manual price changes. Of course, you can do, that's a discount. You're at point of sale and they find there's a dent in the can, or you know, the package has been opened. You say, all right, we'll give you 10%. Well, you can either type in a new price or add a fixed discount percentage to that item. And then coupons. Coupons could also be can be viewed as discounts as well. Okay, let's move on to the next screen. So how do we set up an item sale? Again, you don't go in the inventory and change the price. That is just not the right way to do it. The best way to do it is to create a sale. All right, now there's different ways to set up and add and activate different sales in the system. It could be very simple, a one-shot deal where you go into a pricing plan and create a blanket pricing discount or promotion across, you know, a whole class or department or supplier, right? Then we could also create a sale. So in the item 1 here talks about a sale list. So we can create a sale list with specific items, and those specific items could have fixed prices, or they can have a 0 price and then be activated by, either way, both of those scenarios, they have to be activated by a pricing plan. So you can't just create a sale and a sale list, and I'll demonstrate in Paladin what that is, and expect those items to be on sale. So it's a multi-step process. You create a sale list, then you activate it through a pricing plan, and you either assign it to all customers coming in your store, or you forego that and you assign that pricing plan to a particular individual. So those are the kind of the steps that are involved with this. So in assigning the pricing plan, you determine who you want to participate in that. Is it just my loyalty program customers? Is it you know, just my good customers, just my employees? Whatever it might be, you can assign those pricing plans to individuals or sell it to all customers across the board. Okay, so what I am going to do now is I'm actually going to go into Paladin and show you how this is done and performed. First thing we're going to do is create a new sale, and I'm going to show you how you can either type in those sale items, and all you need to know is the part number and the new price, or you can create an Excel spreadsheet, make the changes in there, and add whatever, you know, price discounts you want across the board, save it as a text file, and then you can import that list, which saves a whole lot of time. Now, there's a lot of companies that will actually send you a list of those part numbers with the new prices. Take advantage of that. If there are, you know, if there are more than 3 or 4 or 5 items, well, more than 20 items, I would say, it behooves you to, you know, get that file into some kind of a text file. So I'll show you how that's done. Then we'll activate that sale through a brand new pricing plan, and then we'll run a couple of transactions, show you how that's done. All right. Second, we're going to create a new pricing plan, and we're not going to create and associate it with a sale list, because this would be more of a blanket sale where we are going to specify a particular class. And then we'll run that new sale, and we'll show you the sales priority. If there are multiple sales going on and promotions, or what we refer to as pricing plans, that cover the same products, it's going to prioritize the best deal. So if there are multiple sales going on simultaneously, it's not going to apply 10% here and then add another 20% here and then add a fixed cost here. It's going to only pick the best one that would benefit your customer, because the last thing you want your customers to do is walk out of your store and compare prices with somebody else, and they find out that, you know, they might be the best customer in the world, but they're not getting as good of a price as just somebody walking in off the street. So it's very critical to prioritize that. So we do that. And then the third, what we'll do is I'll show you quantity discount breaks. I'll show you how trade discounts are assigned to customers, show you some coupons and how that's performed, and then discuss the BOGO future with you. So that is a future feature for everybody that we will be adding. All right. So let me move over to the Paladin system. You can see that on your screen. We have a Paladin point-of-sale system. I'm already logged in as Paladin Sport, as you can see up in the top right-hand corner. And the first thing we do, so going back to our list, we want to create a new sale. All right, so let's go to File, Setup. Setup is a back office function. The reason why, and I didn't mention this, but I kind of dubbed this as an intermediate because you have to have some understanding of how the back office works and how to get through to this. Now in the back office, under the File Setup screen, as we're seeing here, all different types of dials and switches and knobs that you can set to have your system kind of perform and match better to your practices in your store. One of the items up here is Sale List. So we're going to go into Sale List. Now Sale List, in my case, I don't have any. This is starting brand new and fresh. All right, so what we've got is our first box up here is for the sale that we are creating. The second box that you see on this list are the items that pertain to that particular sale. And then below that are the pricing plans that have been activated for that particular sale list. Okay, so step one, we hit New. So we hit New for the sales, and we're going to call this, I'll just call this Wellness. I have some vitamins that I want to put on sale. All right, ID, well, we're starting with the first one, so I'm just going to call this number 1. Hit Enter, and we save it. So we have a sale. That was it. All we did was create a sale name, and we tied it to an ID. Now, it won't let you use an ID number that's already been used. So if you've got hundreds or thousands of these sales in your system, well, you probably wouldn't be watching this webinar, would you? But if you have several of them and they've been inactivated, you cannot reuse that ID. So it has to be unique. So just you can look at the last number on the list and just use the one after that. All right, next we have to do is we have to add a part number to the sale list. So we've got a sale. Let's add some parts to it. So how do we add parts to it? Well, we could just say New, type in a part number, all right, and then put in a fixed price, $5. So I'm saying for part number 10006, I have a price of $5. It's normally like $22 or something. All right. Now, if I hit Save, that's great. Now I have my one item in there. Well, do I want to add my others manually? No, there's a faster way. And that faster way is to create a text file. So what I'll do is I'll pull up the text file and drag it over to the screen I'm working on. I have multiple screens I'm dealing with here. So let me drag it over here. New plan, that's not going to work. So I'm just going to pull up my sale item or sale price. Sale sheet, and then change my screen. Give me a second here because I am multi-screen challenged here. Here we go. So screen 1, monitor, great. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you're looking at my other screen. You can see my webinar web viewer here as well. So here's the file. Now in this file that I'm importing, it's very, very simple. All right, you have to create the first line, and it can have a description. That description doesn't have to match anything. Unlike importing into the importer, importing a sales sheet, you just need to have a first line with your column header. And that column header could be anything you want. In this case, I just put part number and sale price. Next, we have our part number, which is the primary part number in the inventory. Following that, you have a new price. So that's all I have. That is saved as a .txt or text file, and it is required. Let me switch over to my other screen now. Hopefully you're looking at my new screen here. And what I'm going to do is just show you how to import. So I'm sitting on my new sale that I created, which is called Wellness. I go to Import, and it comes up with my file system, and I can go in here, and I can see Wellness Works Sale Import. I just open that. Sale list import completed. So it's done. There it is. All my items are in here. It's got my prices in here, and everything's done. Okay? So I've created a sale, and now I'm going to go over and activate that sale. How do I do that? Well, you have to activate sale list with a pricing plan. So next on this set of items that we're going to demonstrate is adding a new pricing plan. As you can see, I don't have any pricing plans in the system. I want to, just like with sale, I'm going to create a new pricing plan, and I'm going to call this just coincidentally the same name as I called my sale list. That's totally fine. Now, I have to hit save to save this, but I could also, and I need to, assign who this is going to be for. Is this for all transactions, every one of my customers? I'm going to say in this case yes. So I'm going to apply this sale to all transactions. Notice down below that it says I could limit this to rewards customers only. Or if I didn't check either of these, I would then have to assign this to each and every customer record that's in our system that you want to participate in the sale. But for the time being, I'm applying this to all transactions. And next, I have to complete this, and I just have to fill out one more bit of information. I've created a pricing plan. I've told it to apply to all transactions, but I haven't told it what information to use as that pricing plan. So that's where I do this under sale list range. So remember that unique number, that ID that we created for the sale? That's all you put there, and that's it. We're done. So we save it. Now, as you can see, if I wanted to, I can go ahead and put a date range in here. I can activate it for a future date, a start date. I can activate it for right now until the end of, the midnight on Sunday. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just applying it as a sale for that specified sale list. And I hit save, and we're done. So again, to review, I went into sale list. I created a sale list called Wellness. I imported those items, and then I went to a pricing plan. I created a pricing plan, and I assigned that sale list to it for all transactions. Now, let's go ahead and go into invoice and quote. I'm going to call up those items. Now, coincidentally, I put them in a class called Wellness, so they're all going to come up on the screen when I search through advanced search. Add those to my invoice, and lo and behold, I've got my, remember I put in that one at normally at 22. I put in a price of 5. And then I put in some pretty aggressive pricing on the other items as well. So I did this at like 80% off, I think, of what I did. And then that one, I actually physically typed that price in, if you remember, 5. So it didn't override it with that importer. But it did add a new price on all the items in that particular sale list. Okay, so done. That's how we do that. Next on our list was to create a new pricing plan by class. Now this one's a lot easier. It will be a little bit faster and more streamlined. Here we go into File Setup. And we don't have to create a sale list if we're doing what I call a blanket sale. That is, we're creating a pricing plan, and the span of that pricing plan will cover an entire department or an entire class or a particular supplier. So we're going to, again, just like we did before, we say new. I'm going to call this one, I'm real original here, I'm just going to call it Wellness 2. And at this point, I am going to also say apply to all transactions. But rather than specifying a particular sale list, I'm going to specify not a department, I'm going to specify a class. And the class is 30, I'm pretty sure. So that covers a class range. Again, I can specify a date range. Now, In this case, because I'm looking at a particular class and not the sale list, I don't have a reference price, okay? If I don't do anything from this point, it's not going to apply any sort of a discount. So I need to tell it down below. I need to say, is this a discount or markup? You know, well, it's a discount off of retail or cost. It's off of retail, and I'm giving them 10%. All right? So I save that. That's all we need to do. So in this case, I don't need a sale list tied to this pricing plan. It's just a pricing plan that spans across for all customers, because I've highlighted this, checked this box, applied all transactions. And I've said, you know, class 30. Now let's just confirm that I do have that the class is correct. And that would be right here under this tab. If I go down here, there's Wellness 30, so the class is correct. So this would mean that if I run this, it's going to give a 10% discount. Do you all see what's coming here? So let me go ahead and add those items, and oh my gosh, this is still that steep discount coming from my sale list. That's because a sale precedence is being set here. All right, we've got two pricing plans. They affect the same items, right? One just happens to be hard-coded into a sale list. The other is part of a class. So it's actually giving the customer the benefit of the doubt, and it's giving them the best discount. So we need to change this. All right, so how do we do that? Well, we go into Setup. We go to the pricing plan of Wellness, and we say, well, let's not apply to all transactions. All right, so it'll still be a pricing plan that's active in our system, but now we'll have to assign it to certain people or certain companies or individuals that shop the store, or just loyalty customers. So you can do that as well. So we'll save that. Now we'll go back to this, and if we go back into our search category here for class, and we're going to search for Wellness, there the items are, and we select these items and we add them to the invoice. Here we go. Look at that. So instead of $5 for the $22 item, it's now 10% off at $19.80, and so same with the other items. So remember, when you have competing pricing plans and or sale lists, what's going to happen when it spans across the same items and finds the same items, it's going to give the best discount. Okay? All right, what else did we want to discuss here? Let's see. Next is show the priority, did that. So the last is talk about quantity discount breaks, trade discounts, coupons, and BOGOs. So let's go in and show you in the application how that's done. Okay, so everybody knows how to discount an item manually, right? Just want to make sure we cover that. So here we can say, well, I actually want to give it for $10. Based on the rules that you have set up and the manager approval, it may or may not allow you to use that price unless you are a manager. In this case, it will let me go down to $16.46 because that's my minimum margin that I've set, and that is found in the setup screens as well, where you can set a minimum margin across the board. It will let me do $10 as long as I do a manager override. So I just want to specify that. So if I went in here and said, you know, $18, it's going to let me do that because it doesn't go below my minimum margin. All right. The next is quantity discount breaks. I wanted to kind of show that and discuss that. And how that's done is under pricing, you can have your cost at $11.52, your price at $22 for one. But you can say, hey, if you buy, you know, 5, as opposed to a 47.6% margin, we're going to go down to 40% margin. So you buy 5, you get the 5 for $96. That's a quantity discount break. Now you can either do this one of two ways. You can add the sale price or add the margin, and it will adjust either. Or you can do something that's called reference margin, where you can put in a, now this is new, and I discussed this in my most, you know, valuable unused features out there, something like that. But here you can put in, I want to give 10 points off my $22 each. And here it says, well, at a discount of 10% off the 22, it's going to bring your margin only down to $41.80. All right. Now, what's happening here is the nice thing about using these negative numbers as opposed to hard coding this in is it will change as your retail costs change. So if this went to $20, watch when I hit enter what happens down below here. It also changes the multiple quantity discount break items. This is a feature that's been in the system, I don't know, about a year or so. But again, if you didn't read the release notes, you wouldn't have seen it. This is very effective for EDI because you can change the price in EDI, and it will affect all the quantity discount breaks below that. One caveat is, or a note is that there is no rounding that takes place. So it will basically take the exact 10% discount and apply it accordingly to the penny. All right. So that's how quantity discount break works. And next we're going to show trade discounts. I think it's pretty obvious how trade discounts work, but if you don't know, we're going to find out right now. So I go into the customer module, bring up the customer. Down below here it says adjust pricing plans. That is how you assign a pricing plan. Now we have a pricing plan in here called wellness, right? And we can add this, and now they can participate in this pricing plan. So if I say finish, and I go back here, start fresh, and again I find my classes of 30 here, and I add that. You can see my 10% discount. But if I'm Al Sworn, when I bring up this customer, steep discounts across the board because it's pointing to a different pricing plan. And it's giving this particular person, and this can be tied to a business, a person, you know, an employee, what have you, you can specify customized pricing. And the last thing I want to show you then is how to transact this. So we just go to checkout and show you that there is a coupon down here where you can add a coupon. You can specify a coupon amount, and say, it's a $5 coupon, and then how you're going to pay for the rest. We're going to pay cash for the rest, and it's going to come up and ask you and prompt you with what type. Is that a gift certificate, an in-store coupon, manufactured coupon, reward coupon, something that was sold on the web and is being issued here in the store, and other. And the customer reward, in-store pickup, and other enable you to put a description, an order number, what have you, and it ties to that. So you can do, again, you can do coupon discounts, and you can do this as a gift certificate, and you can use this, all day long. You can also use gift cards. Gift cards are a great way to extend a discount or a reward to your customers. All right, that covers it for today. I will, if there are any questions, if you can send those questions through the chat box, that would be great. We will, again, when I exit this webinar, it will prompt, it will bring up a browser with just a couple of questions. Please answer those questions. And thank you for attending today. By the way, we will do this again next Tuesday. I don't actually have the topic for next Tuesday, but stay tuned and you will receive that in an email. Again, a copy of this presentation can be found on Paladin Point of Sale, all spelled out, not Paladin POS, but Paladin Point of Sale.com/webinars, plural. And thank you again for your participation. I will end the broadcast.